Hello, everybody, and happy Friday. Today we are discussing the heavenly dreams of mechanical trees. So, did you want a 30-second recap, or shall I 30-second recap?
Usually 30-second recap.
Okay, I will. You got the phone?
No, I have nothing.
It's over there. Okay, so in the meantime, big announcement, important announcement is today for real is the day that you must turn in your midterm. It's time for me to finally grade those. So you need to turn them in today. A couple of people have emailed me saying, when today? And really, I don't care. Anytime today. Get it in by midnight. 11:59, great time to turn that in. Just get it on in to me on Blackboard. Follow the instructions on the page that has instructions, and I will start grading those super duper slowly. I don't know why this is funny.
Because this is like my 5th video, and every time the midterm's about to be due, and this is really it.
This is it. I know.
It's like, well, we do the next video.
It's kind of poignant, isn't it?
What?
That this is finally time.
It's finally time for the midterm to be due, and it's only April.
It's only April. Get those in.
Sorry.
All right.
Okay, I'm ready now.
Okay, I gotta think. Okay.
Go.
Okay, there are no more trees, so they replace them all with these metal trees, but they don't really do most things that trees do, but they do photosynthesize, and there's one that has a long name that starts with an A that I can't pronounce, and it has all kinds of sentient thoughts, including about God and theology, and then there's a person called Bitta who's supposed to be working on making sure that the trees can do better at being trees, because they're all starting to die and rust, and it's a problem, and so she's searching for a seed, because she's decided that actually maybe she wants to repopulate the earth with trees, even though, like, that seems like a big undertaking. So, a tree, searches and searches until she finds an acorn, and even as she dies, she pushes it up to the ground so that Bitta can get it, and she dies and looks down from heaven, and she's happy.
That's pretty good.
Do you remember the name of the tree?
I decided it was Amaryllis, but I don't think it was.
Yeah, I think that might be from the other story.
Oh, yeah.
Mm. All right, so Haruta time.
Haruta.
What have you got?
So, my question was, why trees? Right? So, clearly there's been a plague. And at first I heard plague and I thought, like, general apocalypse scenario. But I think it must have been, like, more of a tree plague. Because there are birds. And I don't really understand a world in which the birds are there, but the trees have vanished. Because
like
I've been reading a lot of preschool books about food chains.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, like, how does that work? And then, like, other questions, like, why are the birds eating copper? That seems...
They're using it for their nest.
Oh, they're using it for their nest. Okay, you're right. They weren't actually eating it. But... But
they design the intricate leaves that have little copper...
why? Why would you do that?
Like, why not just do some other, like, solar panel thing?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I understand, like, maybe they somehow recreated photosynthesis, like an artificial photosynthesis, which is pretty technologically advanced. Mm-hmm. But, like, again, with my high school biology knowledge, I'm pretty sure that, like, it being a tree isn't fundamental.
Or being the shape of a tree.
The shape of... Yeah, exactly. Like, there has to be a component, and surely there'd be a more, like... efficient or like more long-lasting way of doing this, and maybe like there was some sort of art feeling, but it seemed depressing.
I mean, it strikes me as nostalgia.
Yeah.
And I wonder, like, I assume this happens concurrently with trees like fading out. It makes me think of the super trees in Singapore.
Yeah.
Like the people, which was like an art component, but I think is also like a certain amount of nostalgia, because we lived in Singapore. That's the part I may not have mentioned. Yeah. Like they tore down a lot of trees in order to build the city, and so then replacing them with trees is part of the nostalgia of like, remember when we had this.
Yeah, though in Singapore it didn't feel as sad.
That's because there are still real trees.
Yeah,
but yeah, the giant clanging forests doesn't feel necessary.
Yeah, it just seems like a lot of artwork, and so it just like why
trees?
Why trees?
I mean, trees, like there's lots of studies about trees making people feel happy and calm, and I don't know, like, do you think these trees are lifelike enough to accomplish
that? I mean, it seemed to be really upsetting Beta.
Yeah, but Beta is a botanist, which apparently in this world is sort of like being like an archaeologist of some kind. Like, she doesn't get to actually deal with trees. It's more like the notion of trees, so maybe they're extra upsetting to her. Yeah,
I guess that could be. And I mean, also they're breaking, right? So like things that are beautiful are like when they're at their peak. They might have been really lovely, and now they're so... I liked the part where they talked about how they were so loud you couldn't hear each other talking because the trees were like... Which had like a different sense of like a forest creaking. Yeah. Being alive with sound, and it's just clanging.
And the birds are coming like dive bombing the trees and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the birds are a nuisance too.
Yeah, the birds are a nuisance.
To this like sort of technological thing that they've built. So anything from nature is actually interfering with their nature lookalike.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a weird concept.
But, like, there are roots.
Mm-hmm. Roots that can apparently, like, go deeper.
Go deeper and grow.
Like, suggested that, yeah, I don't really understand how they can grow. And, like, the limbs, there's 8 limbs, but, like, do they grow little shoots? Because if their roots can grow, then, like, can their branches also grow? I have a lot of questions.
I mean, I guess probably the purpose was for us not to think this hard about it.
I mean, it's a short story, so...
Yeah.
There's a lot. There's a lot we don't get. My question is, why are they sentient?
I don't think they are sentient.
So here's my question. Sorry, is it just this one tree that's sentient? Or are all the trees sentient? Because they're not connected, she says. So she doesn't know. It's like a solipsistic sort of...
Yeah,
possible that they each have their own rich internal life, and she's just not aware of it. But my question is, are they supposed to be sentient? Like, did the designers of these mean for them to be sentient? Or did they accidentally become sentient? And so what I'm wondering, the reason why I'm wondering this is that, like, clearly this is a story about environmentalism, but I also wonder if it's like a Black Mirror technology thing, or like if you give like an Alexa enough something, then it sort of starts to like develop a theology. Like, if it's got all these like even if it's not networked to the other trees, it's networked to itself. And so, like, what kind of like technology do they put into this tree, and did it like
create self-awareness? Yeah,
like, is this like an AI tree that like got a little out of control? And if in which case, like, we're lucky that this is the direction it took. Yeah, because it could have gone a lot worse with a sentient AI tree.
I think that's true. I read it as just this tree was sentient, and then it happened spontaneously, and this tree had not always been self-aware. On the one hand, the tree seems to have had a lot of time for thought, and somehow has inputs, right? Like, it's not just that the tree is waxing philosophical with no inputs. Like, somehow tree was exposed to a Bible.
Somebody's been like reading Paradise Lost underneath it aloud,
I guess. Yeah, yeah. So they've been, exposed to things, works of human production. So there's been something there, because
or it's linked up to the internet in some way.
Yeah, which would make sense. I mean, it could be that others are sentient, but they haven't like reached out, or they aren't like. It seems like if others were feeling this way, they wouldn't necessarily reach the same conclusions, but there would have been someone like, this one saying like, "Help, hey, I don't remember, please," saying please. Like another one would be like, "I'm coming for your dog," or like there'd be some other like. There wouldn't be only one that was actually communicating while they're all sitting, unless like one was further ahead. But then again, that would be that they were programmed. Like, I think it has to be.
I mean, if they're programmed, I assume they would have been networked, so it wouldn't make any sense to just make them these little silo trees.
It'd be quite cruel, which is kind of
if you're gonna make
poor lonely tree is thinking like, my lonely tree just stuck here being a tree.
Yeah.
I originally thought the story was going to be that they turned the people into trees, that like they couldn't take good care of the planet, and they became trees. And I was like, this is going to be horrible. But then it was okay, because the trees became people, and people become trees.
Yeah, and then the tree goes to tree heaven to be with its like predecessor real trees, which was really important to her because she like felt this deep sense of connection, like this deep treeness. Yeah. It was a weird story. Interesting story.
It was nice.
Yeah.
I had one thought too.
Yeah.
I wondered, it seemed to me at first had the sense of like machines break down, so like, machines it's been 30 years or something. Yeah, like, it could, time had passed, but I wondered if it was a spontaneous sentience, I can't pronounce that, if maybe these trees have been like going for like 3,000 years.
Ooh.
Like, where the technology that was used to create them isn't necessarily known.
I did wonder why they didn't make more trees.
Yeah, that's what because I kind of got that feeling of like that they're supposed to tend to and care for, and they can monitor, but they don't really have any clue like how these trees came about, and that could be the case if these trees have been going strong for like 3,000 years or something.
Which does make me think of the story of the machine stops that we read earlier in the semester, where it seems like everybody had lost the ability to actually repair the machine, and so when the machine starts breaking down, she's like, "Oh well, I guess that's it."
And perhaps a preview of a story to come.
Is it?
Cool.
Spoilers. All right. Well, so that is that's all we have for today. So turn in your midterms. Do it. And
it's really happening.
It's
all coming together.
We'll be back on Monday to talk about Solar Child. So enjoy that. Be well, everybody. And we'll see you next week.